This video is not a review. These are just my personal opinion. I am just a noob doing my Untitled Chapter enduro. Please do not take any of my advice. Enjoy the video.
There comes a time in life when you feel like you need an upgrade. Not just because you're too good or because you've already used 100% of your previous bike, but because you want some peace of mind. And well, that's what I've done. That being said, here is my new motorcycle.
This is my brand new 2022 Sherco SE300 factory. It's a carbureted 300cc two-stroke weapon, but why exactly did I buy it?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. This year I plan on going to a lot more hard enduro races. Don't worry, the channel will still feature mostly street bikes, but this is my big passion.
In 2021, I got my first taste of such a competition, and let's just say that I loved it, and that I want more. So I needed a reliable motorcycle that could take me through all of these races. I want to know the maintenance of it from zero. I want to have control over all of that. That's basically why a new hard enduro machine was in order.
I'm not saying that my old KTM wasn't reliable, but it had some flaws. Like the fan that would slowly drain the battery if used for too long. Oh, and it was a manual fan, so I had to make sure not to forget to switch it on or off.
Or the fact that the electric starter needs servicing every 20 to 40 hours. These are small things, but in a race, I want to not care about them. I want to simply care about my throttle, clutch, and brakes. And that's it.
Yeah, that's how I justified to myself that I needed a new motorcycle. Plus, new bikes are cool, so there's that.
This should answer why I wanted a new zero-hour motorcycle. But why one from an obscure French brand? Well, first, Sherco might be obscure if you were never in the enduro or trials world. But in these sports, they're not small at all. They've been making kick-ass trials bikes for over 20 years, and lately some of the best dirt bikes on the market. The real reason I bought one stands in the complete package.
The combination of this engine and carb make for a unit that creates more torque than you even need. It's really hard to stall, and that's good, especially for a newbie like me. Then you have the electronic power valve, which for the first time in a two-stroke makes power maps actually useful. But the one greatest thing about this package is the suspension. Stock it comes with KYB front and rear, and the former is a closed cartridge system. Out of the box, this can spank any KTM, Gas or Husky, even Betas, which do also come with KYB. Then you also have a full Brembo clutch and braking setup and an FMF resonator. What I'm trying to say is that out of the box, and in my opinion, this is the most complete package you can get in a dirt bike today. And best of all, it's cheaper than even the cheapest equivalent Gas. The value proposition is incredibly high on this machine.
But look, life isn't always sunshine, lollipops and rainbows. Nothing is perfect, and neither is the Sherco. For starters, the clutch.
So far, I've had no issues. The grab is nice, similar to a KTM. The pull is also good and light thanks to the 9mm pump. But over the past years, they did have some issues with clutches burning a little too soon.
They have been constantly improving since, and as I said, so far, it seems like there might not be an issue for this 2022 model. But I am putting this as a downside because we simply don't know yet. Then you have parts availability. Look, you can find KTM parts on every street, even your grandma might have some lying around. Sherco are a bit newer to this. There is an official dealership in a city that's 2 hours away from me, and they stock most things that I would need, but it's just one. And when I order something, I might have to wait 1 or 2 days for a courier to deliver them to me.
For me, personally, I really only go out in the weekends, so this isn't the end of the world, but it's not as good as it would be for a KTM. This is a brand new motorcycle, so I don't expect to need a lot of spare parts, but you just never know.
Regarding the motorcycle itself, there are some things that are still not as good as its counterparts. Things like the fuel tap. You still have to mix fuel and oil, which is perfectly fine by me, but the fuel tap is hidden underneath the tank.
And it faces the inside of the motorcycle. In a nutshell, if you tip over and need to turn off the gas so that you don't make Greta angry by spilling it everywhere, you can't, or at least not without burning yourself on the resonator, or without having the delicate hands of a surgeon to navigate your way from the other side. And then the engine itself, it's one of the best units when it comes to low and mid grunt, true, but it's just not as punchy up top as a TPI bike.
Don't get me wrong, it's still got plenty of power, it's still a 300 two-stroke, but just a little less than a KTM.
But then, motorcycle is more than the sum of its parts, and this is the case of the Sherco. I'm talking about its handling. Honestly, compared even to a 2022 Husky, this feels like a bicycle in a way. It's so agile and nimble, it feels shorter, the bars feel closer to you. And that makes this motorcycle an absolute weapon in the tight stuff or switchbacks. Whenever you need to do a pivot turn or traverse across a climb, this just feels effortless.
When I said this is a really complete package, I meant it. It still boggles my mind how the KTM conglomerate doesn't include the stupid radiator fan out of the box on its new dirt bikes, but Sherco does.
It also includes frame protectors, a chain guard, and other stuff like that, so that means that I didn't have to buy all that much extra, other than a few protections here and there, and also some quality of life improvements for riders like myself who might be a little vertically challenged.
There are some things that I still want to do though, because a project can never be fully done.
I want to get a linkage lowering kit so that my tiny little feet can reach the ground even better. I want to get a new custom set of graphics, and after about 5 more hours, I want to get a revalve and a spring change in the suspension. It's pretty nice already, but it's going to be way nicer when it's set up properly for my weight.
I get it that the standard male for these companies weighs 75 kilograms, but I don't.
At the end of the day, you choose these bikes with your heart just as much as you do with your mind. Whatever you pick, it's going to be able to do more things than you can. If all the top riders can finish on podiums on a KTM or Sherco or Beta, Husky, whatever it is, we can't really blame the machine.
Any of the new 300 two-strokes are better than me, by a lot. So now if I ever fail a hard enduro section, if Wade Young or Mario Roman can get on the podium of Romaniacs with a bike just like mine, there is no other person to blame rather than myself. And that's really the case for any modern two-stroke.